Hey everybody, welcome to Bob Appétit, a channel dedicated to learning more about food as I sort of go through the adventure of trying to figure out all these different cooking techniques, what makes some things work, what doesn't work. I've spent a lot of time cooking just kind of by the seat of my pants, making things up and figuring out as I go. So the goal of this channel is to dedicate some more time to learning that kind of stuff about cooking. Why is the temperature what it is? What is a Maillard reaction? Why do we choose one cheese versus another? So in this channel, watch and learn a little bit, and perhaps even see me make some awesome dishes and probably quite a few mistakes. Okay, here we go. So to start our channel off, I want to start with a 4-part series on the pastas of Rome. That's cacio e pepe, pasta alla gricia, carbonara, and amatriciana. As you'll see through this video series, each one of these pastas builds up on a core parent, which is cacio e pepe, what we're going to be making today. As the name suggests, in Italian, it is cheese and pepper. And that is all you need to make this. Your pasta, some water, cheese, and pepper.
For this recipe, we'll be using 1 tablespoon of black Tellicherry peppercorns, 3 ounces of Pecorino Romano cheese. Be sure to use either a microplane or your smallest grater setting, and 8 ounces of thick spaghetti, hopefully not dropped.
Okay, so I have seen a lot of debates online about whether or not you can use Parmesan in place of Pecorino Romano in this dish. Now, the short answer from everything I can see is no, not quite. So historically, does it make sense? No, it doesn't. Pecorino Romano, as the name suggests, comes from around Lazio, Rome. It is made from sheep's cheese in a region full of sheep. Whereas Parmigiano Reggiano, comes from another region of Italy. This region, much further north, was full of cows. And so the region made its cheeses from cow's milk. So these are 2 completely different styles of cheeses. Yes, they are both salty. Yes, they both have a strong umami flavor. But with the sheep's cheese, you get a tang and a sweetness that melds with the water. With the cow's milk in Parmesan, you get a nutty flavor, a little bit more mild in comparison. This is important because in a dish that only has 3 real ingredients, pasta, peppercorns, and cheese, you need something that isn't mild. It stands up by itself, a strong flavor. That is where this comes in. Pecorino Romano is the right cheese for the dish. Okay, so I have here 2 tablespoons of pasta water. I've got my Parmigiano Reggiano and my Pecorino Romano here. So let's see if we add the same amount of pasta water to both ½ an ounce of grated cheese, how it'll react.
After adding in the water and giving it a quick stir, the pecorino turns into a thin paste. There are some lumps, but you can easily stir them out and pat it down. The Parmesan, on the other hand, turns into much larger chunks when you add the water. I stirred it around for quite a while, and I kept ending up with larger and larger chunks of the Parmesan.
You cannot just substitute one in for the other and think that it'll work the same. Now, it's cooking. You can make it work. It's a dance of hydration and compounds in the cheese. You can, of course, get the Parmesan to act the way you want, but it won't be as easy, and it won't be the original cacio e pepe if you don't use your Pecorino Romano. So if you can imagine being a sheep herder in the region of Lazio, which is the region where Rome sits. You're going out for weeks, months to herd your sheep, to travel over your land. You've got a couple of bundles of spaghetti or other pasta on you. You've got the milk from your sheep that you've curdled and turned into cheese, Pecorino Romano. And you've got some peppercorns to keep you warm as you're eating on the cold nights. So, step one of our dish is preparing our peppercorns. I have here a tablespoon of Tellicherry peppercorns. You can use other kinds of peppercorns, but Tellicherries are allowed to age on the vine a little bit longer, which makes them quite large compared to most of the peppercorns that you see. This aging allows for a more robust, complex flavor. So if you can, for a dish which has only 2 ingredients in its name, those 2 ingredients should be phenomenal. So for something like this, splurge, get the Tellicherry. So I'm going to set them in the pan, and I'm going to let them heat up on medium-high heat for a couple of minutes just to open up their flavor. You'll know when these are ready. After about 2 or 3 minutes, you can start smelling the fragrances of the peppercorns just taking over your nostrils. All right. It's been about 3 minutes. The fragrance of the peppercorns is blasting throughout this place. So the important thing is immediately turn off your heat and get them out of the pan. You don't want them staying under that heat for too long. So get them into another heat-safe dish. Boom. I've taken my hot peppercorns, put them inside my pepper grinder, and I've got it on the coarse, highest setting. And I am just going to grind them into this pan. The pan is off. We're going to leave it off until we're ready to add our starchy water to this. All right, I've got my 8 ounces of pasta here. It is spaghetti, but it's the thicker version of spaghetti, number 5, if you're looking on the boxes. The nice thing of having this longer, thicker pasta is it will hold the sauce very well. We have a very sticky sauce in the cheese sauce, so it's actually going to get all along the edges here, especially the rough edges of the pasta. The second thing is these thicker pastas are going to be able to cook for longer, which means they're going to give off more of their starch into the water, making it a much better consistency. So I'm going to add it to my boiling water here. So this pasta takes about 10 minutes to get to al dente, thereabouts. So at 5 minutes, we're going to add some of the starchy water to our pepper and turn on the heat. Then at 7 minutes, we're going to bring the pasta over to our pepper and continue its cooking for the next 3 minutes in the peppery starch water to add and infuse that flavor right into the pasta. Then we're going to add the remaining water, some of it, to our cheese to make it into the paste. Okay, so it's been about 7 minutes. I've tested my pasta. It's shy of al dente, a little bit. So that means it's actually at the right time. Still a bit starchy on the inside, still quite firm to the bite, because we're going to finish cooking it in our peppercorns here. I'm just going to slide this over. I'm going to pull in some more of my pasta water here. Keep it nice and moist. So about this point, I've added about a cup, a little bit over a cup of water on there. So while that's happening, this is going to go on for another 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to add our pasta water to our cheese.
So I'm starting out here by adding a 1/4 cup of water to my Pecorino Romano. You want to stir it vigorously until it turns into a thick paste. Feel free to add more water as necessary, or if it's a little too liquidy, add some more cheese. Once your pasta is al dente, turn off the heat and let it stand for about 20 seconds. Then add your Pecorino Romano paste directly to the pasta. Stir it around for 2 to 3 minutes, adding some more of the pasta water as necessary if it looks to be clumping or too thick. Yes, my flipping skills need work, but it's not just for show. By flipping the pasta here, I am helping the cheese to emulsify throughout all of the pasta. As you can see here, I'm adding a little bit more pecorino to my sauce because I've noticed that it's a bit thin. You can add more water or cheese as necessary to meet the creamy consistency that you're looking for. Note, the sauce will thicken as it cools, so maybe leave it a little bit on the wetter side. And this is what you're looking for, a creamy, stick-to-the-pasta sauce throughout all of your dish.
Cheese and pepper, some pasta, and a little bit of water. And it makes the foundation of the four pastas of Rome. Cacio e Pepe is a phenomenally simple dish that I think by learning how to do this, I can build upon this knowledge of how to build the starchy water, the cheese sauce, into other pastas that I'm going to create. I'm super excited to take what I've learned here and to use it elsewhere. But most importantly, I'm excited to eat this. So let's try a little bite of it. You can see the cheese sauce clings to this pasta. The tangy sheep's cheese stands out. The Tellicherry peppercorns are able to fight that flavor by coming with their own heat. The pasta is delicious, al dente, a perfect bite to meld all of this together. It is simple, but every ingredient inside of it stands up to each other. I'm excited to try to get this perfect. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me to try one of the foundational pastas of Rome, Cacio e Pepe. It was an awesome experiment. You can imagine being warmed up in the cold nights while eating this. So, if you'd like to watch, the next one we're going to try to make is going to be pasta alla gricia, which is an extension of this dish by adding some pork fat. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, do all of those things. We're a brand new channel, so any sort of love that you can give us will be phenomenal. And go ahead and add some comments down below and I'll try to reply to them. What are some things that you're excited to try? Different kinds of peppercorns? How did you feel about the Parmesan experiment and what do you think the differences are? All right, well, thanks again. Hope you enjoyed Bob Appétit. Catch you next time.